You ever wake up feeling like you've been powerbombed through your mattress? Yeah, me too. And that's why we drink Strong Coffee Company, the only coffee enough to cut a promo before sunrise. It's got caffeine, collagen, MCT oil, basically everything but a folding chair. Use the code PEDIGREE at strongcoffeecompany.com for 20% off. Use the code PEDIGREE at strongcoffeecompany.com for 20% off your order. Strong coffee for mornings that hit harder than your stepdad's finishing move.
Maddie and Steve, they set the stage. From classic bouts to the modern age. Every slam, every story, every legacy comes alive with Wrestling Pedigree. So tune on in, the spotlight's bright. The ring is ready on this podcast night. It's Wrestling Pedigree.
She cannot beat that. Welcome, everybody, and to a new episode of Wrestling Pedigree. I'm your co-host, Matty. Along with me, as usual, is the last real general manager of MWL, Steve Watkins. How are you, sir?
Man, our theme song gets me going every fucking time. It's so good.
If everyone could see us, we're in the background, we're just playing, we're like this. Oh, what a show we got for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have WCW Monday Nitro from the beginning of 95 to the end of 97, and we have a lot to unpack. I remember channel surfing between these two, between Nitro and Raw. What's your quick take before we get into this of WCW Nitro?
Man, this is what wrestling needed at the time. And being here in New Hampshire, we had Comcast, which had a last button on their remote. So I was able to just hit last, and it was able to flip just right back and forth. It was beautiful. It was a thing of absolute beauty.
I wish I had that for over here in the UK. That would have been awesome. Let's get into it then. So we're going back to September the 4th, 1995. Live from the Mall of America. I remember this because when you show pictures of this, you can see people on like the 4th floor looking down. And I thought, that's so freaking cool. What was your take on the first episode? What was that?
I mean, it was such an awesome concept to have it coming from the Mall of America. Just right in the middle, you've got escalators on both sides. You've got people looking over the side of the barricade. It was so cool. It was such an awesome visual. And even going back and watching it now, it's still it's so cool to me.
I can remember people going up in that elevator because obviously you guys in America, you got the glass elevators to go up. Seeing people go up and they're like watching it, and then you see the kids are like, "Oh, that's so awesome." The first match, Sting versus Ric Flair. I mean, you can't get any better than that, can you?
No, they can't.
There was a lot of things happen on the first show. We had, I think it was Hogan and the Boss Man having an argument, a match, I think, and then of all people to come out on that first night, Lex Luger jumped ship. His contract ended, I think, the night before.
Yep.
And he gave Eric a call, say, "Hey, my contract's up. No one don't know." Kept it a secret. I think that's one of the biggest and I think first surprises in live TV, I think, for wrestling.
Yeah. And especially coming from Raw, that was WWE was taped like weeks in advance. So even if he had let his contract run out a couple of weeks in advance, WWF still wouldn't have had him for Raw that night.
I know back then they used to do like a handshake event, so a handshake meant the word. But Luger Championship, and it was like weekly live TV was weekly live TV, whether it's in the UK or in the US. It was unheard of. It was really unheard of. It was unpredictable. The production value was crazy. We discussed the new generation last week.
Yes.
How would you compare from New Generation to the production value and the presentation that WCW Nitro was?
I mean, obviously, coming from being taped with WWF, WWF was able to edit it so that it was more appealing. So automatically, to me, they had that ability to edit it, so it was automatically more appealing. But that also meant WCW needed to work harder and needed to put on better shows, have everybody on top of their game in order to overcome what the WWF was doing.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the biggest word, and I've listened to Eric Bischoff a lot on 83 Weeks podcast and all the interviews done, is unpredictability. You do not know what's going to happen on this show. So let's get a bit like this show. So let's get on to the first, what I want to talk about first. And that is the man, I think, where everybody was turning heel. Everybody was leaving the company or joining a faction. This guy stayed real. This guy never changed. He made people love wrestling as much as we love wrestling now. And that is the Nature Boy Ric Flair. What can you say about Ric Flair, Steve? Because this guy's got so many words, adjectives about him.
I mean, when you're talking about WCW, you have to talk about Ric Flair. I mean, he embodied WCW. He embodied what they were coming up with, being that Southern promotion, and him being so integral to NWA until they became until Turner broke off and made that WCW. I mean, he is. I love Sting, but I'm going to say Ric Flair is the greatest thing to ever come out of WCW.
Oh, totally agree. Totally agree. I thought you probably might have said the Ding Dongs from the Jim Herd days, but they were terrible. But I agree, totally agree. With Ric Flair not in WCW, WCW wouldn't even get as far as they did. I remember, obviously, in '96, he was in action because he had a lawsuit with Bischoff or some going on in '96. But before that, he had great matches. He had Savage. I do think he faced Arn at one point before he left.
Yes, actually, when Nitro started going live, he was in a feud with Arn.
I know, and that's crazy to think that we think of these four and they're rivaling. And you got, I remember he's Savage, Sting, Arn, Pillman. I think he had a great matches with Pillman before Pillman went to WWE. Like so much great matches before he went. And obviously when he came back, I don't know. I think was it '97 or '98. But when it was the big return, that was crazy. That was a massive pop.
Yeah.
Is there any matches stand out in that between those 2 hours? 2 hours, 2 years. That you think, wow, that Sting match was that Ric Flair match was amazing.
I mean, every match that he had against Sting. His match against Arn, it wasn't the greatest match, but it was so cerebral, and I loved that. Obviously, his match against Hogan, that's something that the wrestling world always wanted to see.
Yeah, totally agree. His match, I agree with you. This match against Sting, even though it came out before the match started on the first Nitro, it was still like a really good match. And when we get to 98 to 2001 ending, I think that's going to be a crazy, because they started Nitro, they closed Nitro.
Yep.
And I can't wait to talk about their feud during that period. Do you think Ric Flair gets as much credit in WCW as he should, or should be more? Should he? Because
I mean, that's kind of it's really hard for me to say. Because if you're talking to the fans, anybody that had ever watched WCW, their first thought, their one of two thoughts, they go to Sting or they go to Ric Flair.
I agree. I mean, I don't know if you saw this on Twitter online yesterday. Someone put out, I think it was Wrestling 80s and 90s profile. They put out a Mount Rushmore of WCW, and they really put two up, and they debated who the other two would be. Well, on the actual two was Ric Flair and Sting. So, what would your other two be then? Mine would have been Hogan and DDP.
Oh, that's not a bad. Those aren't bad picks, but I would have picked DDP and Booker T.
Oh, you would have put Hogan on?
No, I wouldn't, because just simply for the fact that you have all these people now that are saying, "Well, WCW was great, but they bought all their stars. They didn't build any new ones. They built DDP. They built Booker T. Honestly, without the power plant, without Eric Bischoff, I don't know if Booker T would have gotten as big as he did. I don't think he would be a Hall of Famer as he is.
That's not a bad shot. There's someone else I think you missed out, but we'll talk about him later on. Going off Ric Flair, I think if you're going off Ric Flair, you think of workhorses, and I think you think of cruiserweights.
Yes.
And by God, those cruiserweights. It was the best. It was WCW's best kept secret from 96 to 97. I mean, Bischoff did steal a lot of them from ECW.
Mm-hmm.
They did introduce America's Animal, the likes of Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, La Parca, Ultimo Dragon, Malenko, Psychosis. I can name more, but Chris Jericho.
I think you're leaving out my very favorite cruiserweight. That's Juventud Guerrera.
No, because that's why I wanted you to mention him. I won't mention Mexicals. I loved it. It was fast paced. It was the elite work rate. I mean, there wasn't much storylines apart from the Eddie Guerrero race sometimes, or Malenko and Jericho. It was so much fun to watch instead of the NWO stuff. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, and putting them at the very, very start of Nitro every week, that was nothing short of an absolutely brilliant move.
Oh yeah, brilliant booking by Eric for that.
Oh yeah. Like Bischoff was playing 5D chess at that point.
He was, because I think we learned this now as we do like our GM stuff on it's just you want to start off the show really good. You want that momentum to carry on through the show. If it's like, I say WrestleMania 17 is the best ever pay-per-view for me.
Mm-hmm.
So starting off that show, I think it was with Y2J versus Winner Week or someone similar to that. I think it was that.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant match to start off, and then it built, and then it was just a great show. So it definitely helps, and I think they carried on that booking style.
Yeah.
Is there any cruiserweight matches that you classic matches that you could think of that you think, wow, you could watch that again on YouTube on WCW for what you would?
Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko. I want to say it was the second Nitro.
Yes, yeah. The 11th of September one, yeah.
Yep.
I think it was the 11th of September one. Yeah. I remember that match. You got to think that we were watching that in ECW about a month ago. A month before that, and then they bring that out. It was great matches. The one I could think of is obviously it's dubbed a really good classic. It's Rey Mysterio versus Eddie at Halloween Havoc 97.
Yep.
But it's just amazing matches, and we did see that. We were used to big, strong guys, muscle guys beat the shit out of each other. But we didn't see, like, I don't know how tall Ray is. I think he's like 5'7" or something. And he rope flipping across the top rope, and Eddie is doing these crazy moves and jumping off the top rope, and then La Parka doing his style. Hutu Guerrero with his style. It does absolutely crazy matches and crazy style that we didn't see before.
Right.
And do you agree with me with this? Without the cruiserweights, Nitro would have been bloated with NWO promos and squash matches all the time.
I really do agree with you. So I think putting the cruiserweights up there, it got us ready for what was supposed to be a great Nitro every single week.
Okay. What would be in WCW in that era? So the ones that I named and many more, and you can think of your top 5 cruiserweights of that era.
Rey Mysterio, Juventud Guerrera,
of course,
Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho, and Psychosis.
Yes. People
for being such a big, a tall guy, Psychosis could run around with anybody, and it was amazing. He was just as high paced as everybody else.
It was the mass and all. I mean, I think Psychosis mass was just, I think it was the points and stuff. That's just crazy. Like I never seen that before. I mean, Rey Mysterio mask got me, and I loved it. But seeing Psychosis and La Parka's mask, I thought that was freaking cool.
Yep. Now you had mentioned Sting versus Flair at the first one. Do you remember what the first actual match was on Nitro?
Was it Eddie and Ray?
No. Flying Brian Pillman.
Yeah.
Oh crap. Flying Brian. Yeah, thanks.
It's got to be Flying Brian Pillman against. Gotta be.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
is it Justin Thunder Luger?
Oh yeah, Jushin Thunder Liger.
That's the one. Oh, that one. I hate when it goes out of your head, doesn't it? Where you, and then all of a sudden, boom. We need to get CT scan.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Thunder Luger, man, he was. I mean, he's still going now, I think, and he's just crazy.
Yeah.
How would you feel if? Do you think the legend? There's like a legendary, not legendary, sorry, legacy of cruiserweights now from what Eric started in '96 to where we are now. I mean, cruiserweights everywhere now.
Oh, definitely. Like especially with Ray still wrestling, and now quote unquote passing everything off to Dom. Dom is still doing all of the cruiserweight stuff. He's still very lucha. And now with them integrating AAA into WWE, it's been a absolute pleasure to watch it since they came up.
I totally agree. Totally agree. Let's go from the small, light, heavyweighted kind of guys to some big men. And I mean some big men.
Yes.
Outsiders.
Yes.
What is so we got? I think it was May '96. Scott Hall shows up, walks through the crowd, interrupts a match, gets abandoned. He wants a mic, and he's full WWEF gimmick.
Yep.
Razor Ramon gimmick. What did you feel when you saw that? What was your reaction?
As soon as he said, "You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here." Now, obviously, we hadn't seen the stuff from the curtain call. So I was like, "Holy shit! Razor Ramon is in WCW. Why? He doesn't have a contract with WCW. Why is he on WCW TV?" Of course, let's see, I was 12 years old at this point. I didn't know any better. But being little preteen Steve, I was like, this is amazing. And then, give it a couple of weeks, Kevin Nash shows up. I'm like, it's Big Daddy Cool. I was flipping my lid, dude. I was freaking out.
You know what was so good about? You know what's so good about that was there was no dirt sheets ready that we could get hold of, especially not in the UK. I don't know about you guys.
We did have dirt sheets, and I actually had it delivered to my house. It was the Pro Wrestling Torch. Put out by Wade Keller. Yep. And I'm actually pretty sure that I still have some of those really old ones from the late 90s. Yes.
Yeah, but over here we didn't have the torch or anything like that. So when I seen Hole coming out, I said, "Where's Razor?" I actually had to check I'm on the right channel. And then when you said know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. Kayfabe back then, man, was stoned, like it was untouchable.
Yep.
And then Nash followed, I think, 3 weeks later. And he said, well, this is where the big boys play. And I want to say Great American Bash. This is the first time I ever see someone proper authority, not just like what Vader did to Gorilla Monsoon, but Kevin Nash picking up someone that we all knew Eric was the voice, so he was the man. He picked up I think he powerbombed Bischoff through the tables off the stage.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, oh shit, we're at war. WWF is coming over. They're going to kick their ass. I can't wait when Undertaker shows up on WCW and interrupts and beats up Hogan and stuff like that. I'm like, oh. What was your take on the Outsiders before Bash at the Beach?
I thought it was awesome. It was brilliant. It was two guys that I absolutely loved coming over to WCW, to the competition, and trying to take over. And you know what happened from then? It hooked me every single week. Like, I was a WWF diehard. This got me watching WCW.
It was a planted seed, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. And let's go to Bash at the Beach in '96. I think it's the Outsiders and their third mystery guy against the Man Called Sting, Randy Savage, and Lex Luger.
Yep.
I'm thinking, right, why are they 2-on-3? Why is it 2-on-3? What's going on? Where's the third guy? Because as a kid, you're thinking, all right, and the guy chickened out there, just the three WCW guys are just going to beat the shit out of these two. And then it's on. I'm thinking, all right, shenanigans. Here comes Hogan. Now, what are you thinking when Hogan's coming down that ramp as a fan? You're watching on TV. He's coming down that ramp. You're thinking, yeah.
Well, before that, I was thinking, oh, Sting's going to turn bad.
Oh, you thought
Sting's going to turn heel. Yeah, I thought it was going to be Sting. You know, once again, being 12 years old. It was like, oh, Sting's gonna turn into a bad guy. He's gonna join the Outsiders. He's gonna be the third man. And we see Hulk Hogan coming down. I'm like, wait, why is it gonna be a 4-on-2? I mean, this isn't making any sense. And then we see him drop the leg on Savage. I'm like, oh my God, Hulk Hogan's a bad guy. Little 12-year-old Steve was almost in tears.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's such a clever way because, like you said, you think Sting's going to turn. Mm-hmm. But then you got two former WWF guys on this team. So you got Savage and you got Luger. You don't know if one of those two was going to turn because they're former WWF. So when I'm seeing Hogan coming down, I was thinking, right, I guarantee you, because I know Savage more as a heel than anyone else. It's going to be Savage. I was wrong because as soon as that leg dropped, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw that rubbish like they were throwing in that ring. Oh, it was crazy. I was like, ooh. It was one of those moments where it's kind of, I ain't going to put it up there because obviously it kind of fucked up, but it's kind of up there when John Cena turned heel just earlier this year. You just don't know what you feel because you just happened in front of you.
Right.
Do you remember the interview after when Mean Gene came down?
Yep.
And someone threw something right on Mean Gene's nose. It's just crazy to see the rubbish, wasn't it? It was like loads of rubbish in the ring. People shouting, like swearing at them. The next night, all hell breaks loose.
Yes.
And the weeks after, what is any moments of you think of NWO when they're against WCW? You think, holy crap, this is a war.
The parking lot brawl. I know you and I were talking about this the other day, but
Oh, yes.
I still watch it and I laugh every time Nash picks up Rey Mysterio and throws him into the trailer.
Yes, and we found out something that Nash said. I think it's Nash said on the interview a couple of weeks ago. Was that Ray wanted him to throw him through the window? He was like, "Yeah, but you might miss and get injured." It was so realistic, though.
Yeah.
It was so realistic. Did you have any NWO shirts? Also, I got some here, but do you have any NWO black and white shirts and stuff like that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've still got my black and white. I've got a red and black somewhere. I've got my Hogan bandana.
I remember one of my friends had the WCW title, and it was clean, so it wasn't nothing on it. He was so obsessed with NWO, he took a spray can out of his dad's garage and sprayed NWO on his WCW title.
Oh, beautiful.
His dad went mental, but then when he saw what they were doing on TV, he was like, "I'll allow it." It did take realism to a whole new stage, didn't it?
Oh yeah, because like you said before, kayfabe was alive and well then.
They were definitely blurring the line.
Yep.
Do you obviously we're a positive kind of podcast here, but do you think early momentum was huge? But do you think did it slowly become too much?
Slowly. I think altogether they added too many people. They made the NWO too big. I think it helped a little bit when they broke it off into Hollywood and Wolfpack. But even then, I think everything kind of centered around the NWO.
Oh, absolutely. And I think NWO made WCW cool, but they also made it a bit lazy, like for everyone. So like everyone wanted to join, but no one stood out.
Right.
So if you had, I always say a faction, it's like 5 people. So we know the 3, which is the Outsiders and Hogan. Who would have been the other 2 NWOs out of their roster that you would have put in there to make it the ultimate NWO?
Savage.
Yes.
And Syxx.
That's your ultimate 5.
Yep.
Crazy enough, that's mine and all. Because people forget about Syxx, but before his neck injury, he was brilliant.
Oh yeah.
And when he came in and he's there sitting on a chair and they're filming him and he's doing this. Then you had Ted DiBiase. Then you have Virgil. Then you have Scott Norton. Then you have Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner in NWO was freaking good.
Oh yeah. That brought him to a whole other level.
And I know I said they would stand out, but I think he was one of the ones that brought him out of his shell, and then he became a brilliant heel.
Yep, and the same could be said for Buff Bagwell.
Yes, Buff the Stuff was brilliant.
Yep.
And I'm just thinking about what Buff was doing back then, and him and Savage and Steiner just teaming up and beating the shit out of people backstage. Yep. And then I think it's Steiner beating up someone and Buff doing this like he does. And I loved it. It was brilliant. Before we get on to our after this one, let's have a quick little break. And I have a word from one of our sponsors. Last night you were the champ. This morning you're crawling into the bathroom like you just took a chair shot to the liver. Time to tag in Le Cure, the undisputed hangover recovery heavyweight. Packed with site stuff like DHM, B vitamins, and ingredients you can't pronounce, but your liver will love you for it. Pop a gun, me, power up, and stop waking up like a jobber. Go to lecure.com, use the code PEDIGREE, and you get 20% off your order. That's right. Go to lecure.com, use the code PEDIGREE, and you get 20% off your order because legends don't puke. Yeah, they don't. There's someone that did not puke, and this guy, well, if you mention NWO to him, he might puke, and that is the man they call Sting.
Yes.
So from 95 to 97, Sting started as the beach blonde with the color, with that shirt that Steve's wearing. If you're listening to this on a podcast, he's got American, I think it's a Great American Bash kind of Sting.
Yeah, this was actually the 1990 Great American Bash.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love that. Brilliant t-shirt. Unfortunately for me, I just got Top Guy from Ad Freeze. Literally just going generic. What was your take from before Sting went like to the dark side? What was your take on Sting's run before then, like from 95 to early 96?
Sting's time before he eventually turned into the Crow, that he became so famous for and became so over for. Being the Beach Boy, I mean that was what WCW needed at that time. They needed the big colors, they needed the big moves, they needed the big personality. Then, Lex Luger comes back, and Sting kind of starts to question everything. Like with the NWO forming, does Luger have something to do with this? Sting very, very slowly starts to change his look. He goes from the bleach blonde to brown, stops dyeing his hair, which he stopped dyeing his hair now, and it's it's very white. And his face paint stopped being so colorful. It was very much darker colors. He didn't have like the pinks and the baby blues anymore. Now it was like darker blues. It was dark reds.
Yes.
And then he disappears. A little while later, they find him up in the rafters. Or they think they find him up in the rafters. But it's somebody that looks a lot like him, but he's wearing white face paint, black streaks. Like Brandon Lee's The Crow movie.
Yes.
I loved this change in gimmick. Absolutely loved it.
I think the no talking, the no wrestling, just his presence.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, he's in the Masters. I think he was up there for a whole year or over a year until it built up to, I think it built perfectly until Starrcade 97, which unfortunately we're going to go into that in a minute. But it's just the build up. It was just like, they had the fake Sting, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They had Jeff Farmer dressed up just like Sting. But you could tell it wasn't Sting.
Stevie Wonder could tell it wasn't fucking Sting. But yeah, because they were, I think it was something to do with Let's when it started. It was like, oh god, Sting turned on Let's, and then it all started. started going off. But yeah, I mean, when that Sting changing his look, I was like, this gonna be a good 96. And I think it started. I think him questioning everyone was he was not getting along with the Four Horsemen when NWO was about. And he, like you said, he was questioning everything, and he hit WCW, he hit NWO. He was literally just after himself. What is your take when it's built perfectly like it was until Starrcade '97? What's your take? This is gonna be fun. We haven't talked about this before. What's your take on Starrcade '97 and what happened after?
It was oh god. Can we talk about something else?
Unfortunately not.
Oh damn. I mean, leading up to it, having Sting defeat Hollywood Hogan at Starrcade '97, that's something WCW needed to keep that storyline going.
Oh yeah.
I think if Sting had come in, NWO gangs up on him, Hogan beats him, storyline's over. And we see Sting in a matter of months up in New York.
Oh, that is a cool. That's a good shoot.
A bold statement.
That is a good shoot. How did you? For me, I loved it, but him coming down from the rafters in the like the wires and stuff coming down there. Do you think that was freaking awesome? Because we never seen that before. I mean, apart from I think they caught it a little bit in WWE when Shawn Michaels WrestleMania entrance, but this thing was doing it weekly.
Yep.
Did you ever think, oh, where's he going to show up? Where's he going to show up? Where's he going to show up? There's Hogan, there's Savage. Where is he going to show up?
Oh, every week. And is he going to drop right into the ring? Is he going to drop outside of the ring?
He did a lot of stuff, didn't he? He came up under the ring. He pretended, I think, was it he put a big dummy on there once to crash in to trick, like, I think crashed down, tricked NWO, and then he was another one that came down and just beat the shit out of him.
I don't remember that one.
It was like 90. It was not like late 96. It was a good one. I'll send the YouTube to you. Here's something I want to ask you. Obviously, I think Sting's the first person I think that reinvention of wrestlers, the change in their character. Do you think the likes of Triple H? I'll go with Undertaker. Looked at him and went, yes, I need to change my character. I need to develop my character. Do you think a lot of wrestlers looked at Sting when he was doing that? I think, yeah, I need to change.
Oh, absolutely. I think with somebody like The Undertaker, it wasn't so much, I need a change. It was, hey, there is another way I could go with this.
And Sting was the first person. I think Sting was the first person. And I think one of his legacies was, if someone's not working, you don't have to change the character completely, but just re-emerge it a little bit more.
Right.
And I think Triple H is a really good example, from being a blue blood to then go and reinvent himself as the Game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great example. So I think Sting definitely started that run.
Yeah, and with Triple H, it was brilliant because it didn't happen all at once. It was a gradual thing.
Oh, yeah.
Even when he started being called Triple H, he was still showing a lot of the Hunter Hearst Helmsley character. And eventually he just evolved.
That's the word for it, evolved. I think this thing evolved. I would say Hogan involved in that. With Starrcade 97, it was perfect build up until the shit payoff. God, it was a shit payoff. You can hear all the stories from 83 Weeks, Eric Bischoff, or all the WWE documentaries and stuff like that. Do you think, obviously, we're going to cover 98 to 2001 on another episode, but do you think that was the start of the decline of WCW by then?
I wouldn't really call it the start of the decline, but it did show signs that, hey, things might start going down soon.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think Sting proved that you don't need a 10-minute promo to get over.
Yep.
I think his silence could be more powerful than shouting.
Absolutely.
And I go with Sting versus I know we're not 98 yet, but Sting versus Brett was a really good match also. But his matches from 95 and 97 and the 97 was brilliant. However, there was a particular person that debuted late 97, I do believe September 22nd, 1997.
Yeah. And I knew you were going to bring him up. And that's why I left him off of my Mount Rushmore.
So the only reason why I see you gave the reason why like homegrown talent you put on there is this guy was in the power plant. This guy played. I know he played for Atlanta Falcons, but Goldberg.
Yeah.
22nd September 97 debut. No nonsense, no backstory. Just squashed everybody from the beginning. Who was his first victim?
His first victim was Hugh Morris.
And what was your take on Goldberg when you first saw him?
Holy shit, this guy is huge. And he is running through a great wrestler. Like, Hugh Morris, as we came to learn, wasn't the nicest person. But he knew how to work. And him working with Goldberg on Goldberg's first televised match, I think that really helped to shoot Goldberg to the moon.
Oh, yeah. And jackhammer and spear equals instant star.
Yep. And that jackhammer is the coolest move that I had seen at that point. Probably still one of the coolest moves that I've ever seen.
I saw it, and then I think Billy Gunn did it when there was the New Age Outlaws later on. But it's so cool to see that move because it was the whole people. We've seen suplexes all the time, but to hold it up with brainbuster, but to hold someone up and then I would say like a cross body him, innit?
Yep.
I mean, I love that. It was just such a great finisher.
And not only that, but he would hold them up and like really hold them up, and he'd be able to walk around with them until he just decided, okay, it's time.
Do you think his jackhammer on Hogan when he won it in Atlanta, or him doing it to the Giant? Would you say which one's the best one?
Oh, definitely him doing it to the Giant.
I mean, a 7-footer, and he weighed heavy.
Yeah, I want to say he was about 530 pounds at that point.
Yeah, because when you're getting paid millions, you don't really need to, and you're only working, 30 minutes a week? I mean, you just sit back and enjoy the beer and food and do your work. Goldberg was over with the crowd fast. I mean, he was a legit athlete, but he was a believable killer, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously, the famous streak. We'll talk about that when we do the other episode. Do you think 97 was like a starter pack for him? I mean, built up, did not talk to anyone. And do you think he was the answer to Austin for WCW?
I really think he was. Not only was he the answer to Austin, he was also the answer to Hulk Hogan.
I didn't think of that. I was thinking Austin, but I didn't think of Hogan.
Yep.
I would say Goldberg was WCW's answer to Austin, just without the mic for a while.
Right.
That didn't matter. He didn't have to talk. He come out. What was really good about Goldberg was his facial expressions. If someone hit him in the head with a stop sign, he would no sell it.
Mm-hmm.
He was good at no selling still to this day.
Well, now he does it on purpose.
Yeah. I think he's learned from that. Don't work for me, brother. It was really it's just like for me, when I see Goldberg back in that day, you could run him over, and I just think you just stand there and just break the car in half. As a kid, I thought this guy was a Terminator. I literally thought no one could defeat him. I think me and my friends were betting just like £1, like £1 on. I think Goldberg will win next week, and then my friends who were hating WCW were like, "Nah, Goldberg will lose," and I was just getting like £3 every week, every Monday. I was getting that. I was getting money as a kid, being 10 years old, but. Goldberg matches, I mean, Hugh Morris, winner Regal, I do think he had a match in 97 Nitro, was famous one.
Yep. Although I think it was more famous for Regal. Because Regal decided that he really wanted to test Goldberg.
Test Goldberg, but improve Goldberg.
Yeah.
And I think other people backstage took that too bad. With Goldberg and the streak, let's talk about another streak. And that's 83 weeks. We do like technicalities here. We do like the backstage of it. Mid 96 to early 98, WCW beat Monday Night WCW Nitro beat WWE Raw 83 straight weeks. Obviously, I didn't know what this until teenager getting interested in the back of it. What was your thoughts on these 83-week streak?
You know, when Bischoff first started Nitro, he looked at Ted Turner and said, "Let me go live every week. That is what is going to help us beat WWF." He was right.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Bischoff was very controversial when he was doing it. He was giving away results for WWF. But as he always says, controversy creates cash.
Absolutely.
He lived by that. It made plenty of cash for him. It helped WCW beat WWF for 83 weeks. It helped make him a multi-millionaire. It helped bring plenty of money to Turner. And I wish that he had been able to duplicate it with TNA, to be honest.
They did try. They went Mondays, didn't they?
Yep.
But there's not much money in there was for Ted Turner's.
Nope.
With the NWO Heat and the Nitro live format and the Star Power, it was unbeatable. Absolutely unbeatable. We did the New Generation last week on our episode, and we were talking about gimmicks. So we were talking about cartoon gimmicks. Do you think anywhere apart from Undertaker and like the new ones, any of those cartoon gimmicks or any others, what we were talking about, like the Plumber, Isaac Yankem, and that. Do you think any of them will work on that Nitro?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. That is why WCW were so far ahead, and Kit until it had to take really drastic action from WWE. What do you think was a turning point of the 83 weeks?
I think people got sick of the very, very slow build of Diamond Dallas Page. I love Dallas. I love Dallas, but it was so slow. And especially with him going toe to toe with the NWO so many times, it took them so long to make him a champion, to make him the face of WCW. And I think by the time they finally decided, we're gonna put the title on Dallas, I think a lot of people had just said, you know what, we gave them our hard-earned money, we gave them our attention. Let's switch back.
I agree, and people forget though, some wrestling fans, that DDP was the first one to strike NWO.
Yep.
So he was the first one to represent WCW and fight back. Because Sting was, like you said, Sting was in the rafters. The cruiserweights were getting squashed. Booker T was doing his thing, but he was trying. But he had Harlem Heat.
Yep.
It was literally down to DDP.
Yep.
Obviously, Ric Flair was able because of the Bischoff situation. I think the turning point was Starrcade 97, the bad booking decisions, and NW fatigue, like we discussed earlier. I don't think, I do honestly believe, and I think you agree with me with this, 95 to 97, WCW owned the wrestling world.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, everything we talked about there, literally just the lifelike, the realism, the edgy characters, the great production format, everything. You just could not compete with that.
Right.
Is there anything you would have changed apart from DDP's slow championship capture? Is there three things you would have changed between from 97, from 95 to 97? You're Eric Bischoff. You got 2020 vision. What do you change? What three things do you change?
I don't think I have Hogan as a third man. Eventually, he comes in and he's running the thing the whole time. I don't have him as a third man, though. I believe I have Macho Man as a third man.
So what I was thinking of as a kid, I'm thinking Macho. Yeah.
Yeah. Put a rocket straight to Chris Jericho. Yes. Like they definitely promoted him. They let him promote himself. Stick a rocket right to him. Send him all the way up the ranks.
Before you say your third one, can we just talk about the list that he was doing, like the 1,000 moves that he was doing on that Nitro, and they went to Outbreak, and he's coming back and he's still saying it.
Arm bar.
He's going alphabetical, so he's got orange.
The three-handled, moss-covered family Gradunzo.
And it was like literally just, I mean, back then it was like paper just going all the way. What's your third final thing you would have changed?
don't make the NWO so big.
Yes.
Keep it to like a maximum of 10 guys.
Yeah, because then you could keep some for the lower match mid-carders. Then you got the big guys. I mean, you should get the big guys for War Games concept they did.
Mhm.
Yeah, for me, I agree with you. The NWA members, I would have strapped a bigger rocket up behind DDP, make him champion earlier, and get Macho Man out of NWO and make him a bigger star. That would have been me. But it was fun looking back, wasn't it?
It was.
I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you did text me and say, I can't believe Sabu was in there. I couldn't remember.
Yeah. You know, watching that first Nitro, I texted Maddie and I'm like, why did I not remember Sabu being in WCW?
It was for a cup of coffee, though.
Yeah, it was. And
And
that's exactly why I didn't remember it.
I think he was with the Sheik, but it was it's so awesome. I know we like on Wrestling Pedigree we have Ross Report and we talk about today's wrestling, but it's so awesome to be nostalgia and look back on these stories and these wrestlers and these moments. And 95 to 97 Monday Nitro for me is a crazy period.
Yeah.
We have no idea what we're doing next week because we like to keep it spontaneous.
Yes.
We will let you know during the week, but we will be here next weekend. It's been really fun as usual. Where can people find you, Steve?
Oh, you can find me here every week with my buddy Maddie on
You were going to say roundtable
on Wrestling Pedigree. I
you
almost said
roundtable.
You can find me here every week with my buddy Maddie on Wrestling Pedigree. You can find me actively ruining MWL as the commissioner of Surge, Father Malchus Daroga. You can find me here. You can find me there. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about is the Wrestling Internet Network. It's a great group of guys. They have partnered with the Promo Club. October 25th, they're doing their first pay-per-view called Seasonal Sacrifice. You know, it's all promo based. And if you don't know how to cut a promo, these guys will teach you. One of our friends of the podcast, Dylan James, he runs it. He's fantastic. He's also one of our guys in MWL. He knows what he's doing. So if you're interested in that, you know, drop me a message on Facebook. I can put you in touch with Dylan. Also, if you're interested in predicting, drop me a line, drop Maddie a line. We'll get you into MWL. We're going through an absolutely amazing storyline right now. That is my brainchild. And it is so much fun. If you're not part of it, you want to be. Oh, no, it's not. It's not fun for you because you're getting the crap kicked out of you every week.
I know. And I'm the GM.
Yeah. So drop one of us a line. Even if you just want to come and watch what we're doing, come on in. We have some people that just watch. If you don't feel like predicting, that's cool. You don't have to predict. Yeah, that's what I got.
Thank you, brother. You can find us on Facebook with Wrestling Pedigree. We will be going live on Wrestling Pedigree Facebook page from the 22nd of October. You can find us on Instagram and YouTube or Wrestling Pedigree 92. This show will be on YouTube in a space of 10 minutes after this program finishes. You can find me on Twitter on Matty W freaking A. And in the next couple of weeks of episodes, we will have some special guests interviewing, and we'll have some special episodes coming out. So, being in Wrestling Pedigree, if you want to come on and talk about wrestling and shoot shit on nostalgia wrestling or today's wrestling, just hit me and Steve up, and we'll get you on and we'll throw out an episode for you. But we're very positive and we respect everybody's opinions. So before we go, there will be a advert and then going. But from me and Steve, the last real general manager of NWL, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week and enjoy wrestling. Are your clothes embarrassing your bloodline? Does your closet look like a Mick Carter in sweatpants? Well, fix it with oldglory.com, the only place with enough merch to main event WrestleMania and your cousin's backyard barbecue. Band tees, sports gear, pop culture chaos. They got more heat than a SummerSlam sunburn. Use the code PEDIGREE for 50% off. That's right, use the code PEDIGREE for 50% off and walk into the room like your theme music just hit. Oldglory.com, because real legends don't wear weak t-shirts.